So here we go. We've got a Snow White update. Haven't done one of these in a while. For you that don't remember, Snow White, the live action version of Snow White, supposed to have been released to theaters this past March. It was moved back to March of 2025, allegedly because of the Screen Actors Guild strike. I think it's because they were doing damage control from the Rachel Zegler interviews in the first half of 2023, where she said that the movie's, Prince Charming's a stalker and he's weird, weird, and that they were totally changing the story of Snow White, not to mention the leaked photos from the set that the Daily Mail had published, where they certainly didn't look like the seven dwarfs. No, they're the seven thieves or bandits or something else, just not dwarfs. So here we have article from thatparkplace.com, John F. Trent. If you haven't checked out his socials, haven't checked out his YouTube channel, check it out. He does excellent work. But Gal Gadot appears to confirm rumors of new Snow White reshoots after film was reportedly testing poorly and a mess. Go figure. The film was testing poorly and is a mess. Well, that's what happens when you don't follow the story. When you try to change the story. So, Gal Gadot had posted to her Instagram stories a photo of an actress chair labeled Evil Queen, and she said, "Feels good to be back." That appears to be confirmation that the film would return for reshoots following reports that it was testing poorly and, quite honestly, a mess. But Daniel RPK, who I have seen his scoops in the past, and he's usually fairly accurate, but I disagree with him on this one, that the film was being praised and the movie was doing something different with the poison apple. Something different with the poison apple. I don't know about you guys, but Snow White's supposed to be PG. Just saying. And Cosmic Marvel had corroborated that scoop from Daniel RPK, saying Disney's Snow White is reportedly doing something different with the poison apple. The film is also praised for being great. Great! However, Empire City box office had something different to say. I actually can refute this Daniel RPK report. As I said months ago, that it was in trouble before they moved it back a year. It actually is testing poorly, and those involved don't have much hope for it. The film is a mess and not working despite reshoots. Now, who could have saw this coming that the film would be a mess? I mean, when your star goes out there and basically says, Snow White story, forget it. We're doing something different. Prince, that was that original animated movie was in 1937. The Prince, he's a stalker. He's weird. We don't need him. Oh, and by the way, Snow White, she's a girl boss now. She's gonna figure out who she is as a woman and figure out her inner self. The user had previously indicated in October 2023 that the film needed major help and extensive work in order to save it. He wrote, was going to hold back on this as it seems to have a narrative, but just bad timing. Hearing that 4 big budget films are all either disasters about to happen or need extensive work to save them. The Marvels, we know how that ended up. Snow White, to be determined. I still think it's going to be dead on arrival when it hits theaters in 2025. Madam Web, we know how that ended up. And The Ballerina, I don't think that's been released yet, are all not working, need major help. Well, as for the Marvels and Madam Web, that's an understatement. Even though somehow Madam Web made it to number 1 on Netflix when it first hit Netflix, I mean, I waited for it to hit Netflix before I watched it. And yeah, it was a train wreck. I mean, Spider-Man with no Spider-Man. Come on. So we have the delay. I already covered that. March 22, 2024 to March 21, 2025. Again, the Hollywood Reporter's Pamela McClintock alleged that it was due to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike. That may have had a teeny, tiny bit to do with it. I think it was just that the bad press that Rachel Zegler was given the movie itself. Disney had to delay Snow White because they had spent so much money on it, and we'll get to that in a bit. And if it is a financial disaster at the box office, it might single-handedly cripple future remakes and potential Snow White sequels. Please, no. No. We don't need future remakes and sequels. Especially sequels. No. They also have to remove themselves from the bad taste in the mouths of online critics and want to instead deliver a great film and get to a point where they get it right. Well, then you go back to the original story and you follow the story. And you include dwarves. Just saying. They realize that they were overthinking things and are now reining it all in a little bit more. They just need some time to figure it all out. Plus, we are still dealing with the strikes. Well, you're not now. It is a perfect storm right now, but they are embracing change and anticipate it all to work out and exceed expectations. The work starts now. Oh, here's another excuse. They also had to delay the movie because they're not only have to make it as best as they can, but there are a lot of toys that they have to prepare. So they need the dwarves. Interesting, they said dwarves and not thieves. And the rest of the characters to look exactly like who they're supposed to be. The rest of the article here gets into the Rachel Zegler crazy interviews. Completely changing the film from the original 1937 release. Saying that, again, the prince was a stalker, and that was weird, so we didn't do that this time. It's no longer a love story. The prince is probably going to be cut out of the story. She's a girl boss. She needs to find herself. Blah, 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 blah. So it gets into all that, which I've covered in other videos. Not to mention the leaked photo from the Daily Mail that didn't look like dwarfs. Just saying. But we get to the money aspect. Now, this is going to be critical. As of July 2022, they'd already spent nearly $210 million on this movie. They got a tax break from the UK. So now we're about 169 million. But if these reshoots haven't been put in as part of the budget yet. So keep that in mind. Reshoots aren't in the budget yet. So if these reshoots are another $100 million, $150 million, guess what? You add in the reshoots, you add in the marketing, now you're at a $400 million movie. It's not going to go well for Disney. This movie will probably need to do close to $1 billion to break even at the box office, and I don't see it getting anywhere near that. That's just my opinion. So, on that note, what do you guys think of Snow White and the fact that they're already, that they're reshooting scenes as we speak? Do you think it's gonna make the movie any better? Has your opinion changed of the movie if you've been following the Snow White story, the Snow White saga? Comment down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Share this video out there with your friends and family, and I will see you guys later.